Ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor to stand before you today. In a world that often tries to break us, to wear us down with its challenges, its doubts, and its fears, we must ask ourselves, how do we respond? In times of trial and moments when it seems like the weight of the world is bearing down upon us, we have a choice, a powerful choice. We can choose to let the storms of life shake us to our core, or we can choose to act, to walk forward with unwavering faith as if nothing can touch us. We are not called to be passive in the face of adversity. We are not called to be overwhelmed by the circumstances that surround us. No, we are called to rise above, to act as if we are unshaken, unmovable, resolute. So today, let us remember, act as if nothing affects you. Not in arrogance, but in faith. Not in pride, but in the strength that comes from knowing who you are and where your strength lies. Resilience is not just a trait, but a choice. It is the decision to face adversity with unwavering strength. The Torah tries to knock you down and to continue moving forward despite the challenges you encounter. It is not about being immune to difficulties or pretending that they don't exist. It is about how you respond to them. When you choose resilience over reaction, you are choosing to take control of your own story, to hold on to your inner peace, and to stand tall in the midst of storms. Life is full of unexpected twists. One moment you might be soaring high, and the next you could be facing a challenge that shakes your very foundation. When hardship strikes, it is easy to react emotionally, to panic, to become anxious, or to feel overwhelmed by the weight of it all. These reactions are natural, but they do not define you. What truly defines you is how you decide to respond when everything around you is in turmoil. You can choose to be a victim of your circumstances, or you can choose to embrace resilience and rise above them. Resilience is a mindset that goes beyond simple endurance. It's not just about surviving, but about thriving despite the odds. It's the strength to persevere, to push through the pain, and to stay focused on the goal ahead, even when everything in your environment is pushing you to give up. It's not about denying your feelings or pretending that the situation is not difficult. It's about acknowledging those feelings and choosing not to let them control you. When we react to difficulties, it often comes from a place of fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. Fear tends to paralyze us, keeping us from taking the necessary steps to move forward. But resilience doesn't come from fear. It comes from faith. It comes from trusting that even in the darkest moments, there is a way through. It comes from knowing that while you may not be able to control what happens to you, you can control how you respond. You can control your attitude, your perspective, and your actions. There is a deep power in choosing resilience. It is a power that comes from within. When you embrace resilience, you are declaring that no matter what the world throws at you, you will not be swayed. You will stand firm. You will adapt. You will continue to push forward. This doesn't mean that you will not face difficulties or challenges. It means that you will meet them with a steady heart and a determined spirit. Resilience also involves a level of emotional intelligence. It is about understanding that your emotions are valid, but choosing not to let them dictate your actions. When life presents challenges, it is natural to feel a wide range of emotions: anger, frustration, sadness, fear. These emotions are not to be ignored or suppressed. They are part of the human experience. However, resilience involves recognizing these emotions and then choosing to rise above them. It's about not allowing those emotions to control your next move. People who are resilient are not immune to pain or hardship. They experience the same struggles that everyone else does. What sets them apart is their ability to rise after falling, to keep going when others would quit, and to find strength in the face of adversity. It is a quiet strength, one that doesn't boast or draw attention to itself, but one that quietly continues to push forward step by step. Choosing resilience over reaction also requires patience. It requires the ability to endure through the process, understanding that things may not always work out immediately, but trusting that in time, they will. It is easy to become frustrated when things don't go the way we want them to. But resilience teaches us that some of the most important lessons are learned during the times when things don't go according to plan. These moments can shape our character and our future as long as we have the patience to endure them. In our fast-paced world, we are often taught to expect immediate results. We want things to happen quickly, and when they don't, we may feel defeated or discouraged. But resilience teaches us that some things take time. Growth, healing, success, and peace don't happen overnight. They happen slowly, one small step at a time. And each small step, even when it seems insignificant, brings us closer to our goals. When you choose resilience, you are making the conscious decision to act in the face of uncertainty, to take each challenge as an opportunity for growth, and to never let your circumstances define your worth. Resilience is the quiet strength that allows you to maintain your inner peace, even when the world around you is in chaos. It is the courage to keep going when everything tells you to stop. It is the ability to rise after every fall, knowing that you have the strength to keep going, no matter how hard the journey may be. There are moments in life when the weight of the world seems to press down on us, when circumstances feel overwhelming, and when the temptation to succumb to defeat is strong. During these times, it is easy to let our lives be defined by the challenges we face. But the truth is, you have the power to choose how you respond to adversity. You do not have to let your circumstances define who you are or determine your path. You have the ability to rise above, to see beyond the immediate turmoil, and to refuse to be defined by anything other than your own actions, choices, and inner strength. The key to rising above life's challenges is perspective. When we focus solely on our problems, it's easy to feel like they are insurmountable. We begin to think that we are trapped, that the obstacles we face are too great to overcome. But when we shift our perspective, when we start looking at challenges as opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable hurdles, everything changes. Challenges become stepping stones. Setbacks become lessons. What once seemed like a wall becomes an opportunity to climb higher. It is important to remember that the storms of life, no matter how fierce they may seem, are temporary. The difficulties you face today are not permanent. They do not define your future. What defines your future is how you respond to these challenges. Will you let them break you, or will you choose to use them as a source of strength? Will you let them hold you down, or will you rise above and keep moving forward? The power lies in your hands. Your circumstances are not in control of your destiny. Your choices are. In order to rise above your circumstances, you must first recognize that your value is not tied to what is happening around you. So often we let external factors, our jobs, relationships, financial situations, and even our health determine how we feel about ourselves. When everything is going well, we feel confident, happy, and successful. But when things take a turn for the worse, we can lose sight of our own worth. We can start to believe that because things are not going well externally, we are somehow less worthy or less capable. But the truth is, your worth is not dependent on what is happening in your life at any given moment. Your worth is intrinsic. It is not something that can be taken away by circumstances. It is something that comes from within, from knowing who you are and what you stand for. When you rise above your circumstances, you are essentially taking control of your own narrative. You are no longer letting the external forces of life dictate how you feel or what you can accomplish. Instead, you are choosing to respond with grace, with strength, and with perseverance. You are choosing to act in a way that aligns with your values and your purpose, regardless of the challenges in front of you. This is not about ignoring your struggles or pretending that they don't matter. It is about recognizing that your struggles do not have the power to define your life. One of the most important ways to rise above your circumstances is by maintaining a strong sense of purpose. When you know what you are working towards, when you have a clear vision of where you are going, it becomes much easier to weather the storms of life. Purpose gives you direction, and it provides you with the motivation to keep going even when the road is rough. When you rise above your circumstances, you are not just reacting to what happens around you. You are actively pursuing your goals, staying focused on your mission, and refusing to be distracted by the challenges that come your way. It is also important to recognize that rising above your circumstances does not mean doing it alone. While it may feel like you have to face your challenges on your own, the reality is that we are all interconnected. We all face struggles, and we all need support from time to time. Rising above your circumstances doesn't mean isolating yourself or pretending you don't need help. It means being willing to reach out, to lean on others when needed, and to receive support when it is offered. It means recognizing that you are part of something greater than yourself, and that you do not have to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders alone. Rising above your circumstances also requires a level of emotional intelligence. It is about understanding that while you may not be able to control everything that happens to you, you do have control over how you respond. Emotions are a natural part of the human experience, and it is important to acknowledge them. But rising above your circumstances means not letting those emotions control you. It means choosing to act in ways that are in alignment with your highest values, regardless of how you feel in the moment. There will be times when it seems easier to give up, to let go, and to let your circumstances dictate your actions. But it is in those moments that your true strength is revealed. When you rise above your circumstances, you are demonstrating an inner strength that is far more powerful than any challenge that may come your way. You are showing that no matter how difficult the journey may be, you are committed to walking it with courage, with conviction, and with an unwavering belief in yourself and your ability to overcome. Rising above your circumstances is not about avoiding the difficulties that life brings, but about facing them with a heart full of strength, a mind full of purpose, and a spirit that refuses to be broken. It is about choosing to move forward, no matter how hard the path may be. And in doing so, you not only transform your own life, but inspire others to do the same. Strength is often misunderstood. Many people equate strength with physical power or the ability to handle large, overt challenges. However, true strength is not always about being the loudest, the fastest, or the most noticeable. Real strength lies in the quiet moments, in the resilience that allows a person to continue moving forward, even when everything around them seems uncertain. Strength comes from within, built on faith and a deep sense of purpose. It is not something external. It is something that flows from the core of who you are, unshaken by the circumstances you face. Faith is the foundation of this inner strength. It's a faith that transcends mere belief. It is a conviction, a deep assurance that no matter what happens, you are not alone. This kind of faith empowers you to stand tall when everything seems to be crumbling. When the winds of life blow fiercely, you can stand firm because you know where your foundation lies. Your strength is not rooted in temporary things that can be taken away, but in something eternal, something unmovable. Faith in yourself, in your purpose, and in the greater good of the world gives you the courage to continue, even when you can't see the way forward. True strength is also defined by the ability to remain calm in the face of chaos. In moments of stress, when everything seems to be spinning out of control, it is easy to react with panic, fear, or frustration. These emotions are normal, but they are not the markers of true strength. The ability to pause, to breathe, and to respond with thoughtfulness rather than reaction is where real strength lies. Strength is not in being immune to challenges. It is in having the capacity to remain composed, to make decisions based on your principles, and to act with purpose in the most difficult moments. This type of strength is not a natural trait that everyone possesses at birth. It is something that is cultivated through experience and through the conscious choice to rise above circumstances. Every time you face adversity and choose to stand tall instead of crumbling, you are strengthening your inner resolve. Each challenge you face provides an opportunity to grow stronger, to reinforce your belief that you can handle whatever comes your way. Strength is like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the more resilient and capable you become. Another important aspect of strength is the ability to persevere. It is easy to remain strong when things are going well, when everything is falling into place as you hoped. But true strength shows itself when things don't go as planned, when obstacles appear out of nowhere, when the road ahead seems long and untraveled. In these moments, perseverance becomes your ally. It is the determination to keep going, to stay focused on your goals, even when the path is unclear. Perseverance is not about sprinting to the finish line. It is about taking one step at a time, regardless of how tough the journey may seem. Strength is also about vulnerability. It may seem contradictory, but true strength comes from embracing your humanity, from acknowledging that you don't have to have all the answers, that it's okay to not be perfect. It's okay to ask for help when you need it, to admit when you are struggling, and to show others that you too are capable of doubt and fear. Strength does not mean being invulnerable. It means acknowledging your vulnerabilities and still moving forward despite them. In fact, it is often in these moments of vulnerability that your true strength shines. When you are willing to be open, honest, and real with yourself and others, you give yourself permission to be stronger than you ever thought possible. The external circumstances of life often try to convince us that we are weak, that we are not enough, or that we are powerless. The world has a way of putting pressure on us, trying to make us feel as though we must meet certain expectations or live up to certain standards in order to be valuable or worthy. But the truth is, these external pressures cannot touch the inner strength that lies within you. The world may tell you that you are not enough, but your faith, your perseverance, your vulnerability, and your resilience tell a different story. You are enough as you are, not because of what you do or how you measure up, but because of the inherent strength that exists within you. Strength also involves the ability to remain focused on your mission, regardless of the distractions that come your way. In today's world, there is a constant stream of noise, a never-ending cycle of distractions that can pull you away from your true purpose. Strength is found in the ability to tune out the noise, to stay grounded, and to keep your eyes on the path ahead. It is about knowing what matters most and staying true to that vision, even when everything else around you seems to be pulling you in a different direction. This inner strength, born from faith and perseverance, is not just for your benefit. It is meant to be shared with others. When you embody this strength, you inspire those around you to do the same. Your resilience, your ability to rise above the challenges you face, becomes a beacon for others who are struggling. Your strength doesn't just empower you, it empowers everyone you come in contact with. By acting with faith and courage, you can light the way for others to follow, showing them that no matter what they are going through, they too have the strength to rise. Strength is not a singular fleeting moment. It is a continuous practice, a decision that you make each and every day. It is a choice to stand firm, to keep going when things get tough, and to remain true to your purpose. It is the quiet, unshakable confidence that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. True strength is a force that keeps you going, not just for yourself, but for the people around you, for the mission you are called to complete, and for the legacy you are destined to leave. In a world filled with constant distractions, where every moment is filled with noise, both external and internal, it is easy to lose sight of the larger purpose that drives us. Life is full of interruptions, of small and large obstacles that attempt to take our focus away from what truly matters. But there is power in acting with purpose and being intentional about the way we move through the world. Purpose gives us direction, grounding us in the face of chaos and providing us with the motivation to keep going, even when everything else seems uncertain. Purpose is not a fleeting desire or a surface-level goal. It is a deep and unwavering sense of why you do what you do. It is what gets you out of bed in the morning, what pushes you to work through the difficulties of life, and what drives you to continue even when the road ahead seems long and difficult. Without purpose, we are like ships drifting aimlessly on the water, susceptible to the winds of circumstance, unsure of where we are headed. But with purpose, we become the captains of our own ship. We chart our course, and though the winds may change, we are anchored in the knowledge of why we are moving forward and where we want to go. Having purpose allows us to navigate through life's distractions with greater ease. It becomes the compass that guides us when we are lost, the light that leads us through the darkness. In moments of doubt, when we question our abilities or our worth, purpose reminds us why we started, why we are here, and why it is worth continuing. It is the fuel that keeps our engines running, even when we feel like we are running on empty. Purpose is the force that propels us beyond the immediate struggles and towards the larger vision of who we are meant to be. When you act with purpose, you are aligning your actions with your values, your beliefs, and your long-term goals. You are no longer drifting, reacting to whatever comes your way. Instead, you are making choices that are in alignment with what matters most to you. This alignment creates a sense of power as it gives you control over your life. You are not at the mercy of your circumstances. Rather, you are using your purpose to steer your decisions, to determine the direction of your actions, and to shape the outcome of your journey. Acting with purpose also means being intentional about how you spend your time. Is one of the most valuable resources we have, yet it is often the easiest to squander. When we act without purpose, it is easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of daily life, spending time on things that do not serve our greater goals or bring us closer to the life we envision. But when we act with purpose, we become more mindful of how we invest our time. We prioritize the things that align with our values and help us move closer to our goals. And we let go of the distractions that steal our attention and drain our energy. Purpose also gives us the clarity to make decisions with confidence. In times of uncertainty, when we are faced with multiple choices and competing priorities, it can be difficult to know which path to take. But when we are anchored in purpose, our decisions become clearer. We can evaluate each choice based on whether it aligns with our long-term vision, and we can trust ourselves to make the right decisions. Purpose eliminates doubt and confusion, providing us with the confidence to act decisively, knowing that we are moving in the right direction. One of the most powerful aspects of purpose is ability to help us rise above the distractions of life. Life is full of noise. Social media, news, opinions of others, societal pressures, and if we are not careful, these distractions can pull us away from what truly matters. It's tempting to chase after the next shiny object, to get caught up in the latest trends or the opinions of others. But acting with purpose keeps us grounded. It reminds us of what is truly important, what we are working towards, and what we need to focus on. Purpose allows us to block out the noise and stay focused on our own journey, rather than being swayed by the opinions or expectations of others. In addition to keeping us grounded, purpose also provides us with the strength to keep moving forward in the face of adversity. When life becomes difficult, when we face setbacks or obstacles that seem insurmountable, it is easy to feel like giving up, but purpose keeps us going. It helps us to see beyond the immediate difficulties and to keep our eyes on the long-term vision. It reminds us that the challenges we face today are just stepping stones on the path to a greater future. Purpose gives us the endurance to keep going, even when the road is tough, knowing that every step brings us closer to the life we want to create. Acting with purpose also fosters a sense of fulfillment. There is a deep satisfaction that comes from knowing that every action you take, every choice you make is aligned with your higher vision. This fulfillment is not dependent on external achievements or the approval of others. It comes from the knowledge that you are living authentically, that you are being true to yourself and your values. When you act with purpose, you feel a sense of integrity, knowing that you're creating the life you want to live, not based on the expectations of others, but based on your own vision and purpose. Purpose is not a destination. It is a journey. It is something that evolves over time as we grow and change. Our understanding of our purpose may shift, and our goals may evolve, but as long as we are anchored in purpose, we are constantly moving forward, constantly aligning our actions with what matters most. Purpose is a thread that runs through our lives, weaving together the different experiences and challenges we face, and helping us to make sense of the journey. With purpose, we are never truly lost, because we always have a clear direction, a reason to keep moving, and a deeper sense of fulfillment that comes from living in alignment with what truly matters to us. In life, there are few things more daunting than the storms that inevitably come our way. These storms can take many forms. Personal struggles, external conflicts, loss, failure, or unexpected challenges. They can feel overwhelming, like forces beyond our control that threaten to knock us off course and leave us broken. In these moments, it can be tempting to surrender, to let the storm take its toll on us, and allow the waves of difficulty to dictate our actions. But there is another way to respond to these storms, a way that allows us to not only endure them, but to rise above them. This is the power of choosing to refuse to be shaken, to stand firm in the face of adversity and maintain your sense of self-purpose and direction. Refusing to be shaken does not mean ignoring the reality of the storm. It doesn't mean pretending that the challenges we face are not real, or that they won't have an impact on us. Rather, it means acknowledging the storm for what it is, and then choosing to stand strong despite it. It is about finding the strength to continue moving forward even when everything around you seems to be crumbling. It is about holding on to your faith, your purpose, and your values in the face of uncertainty, and refusing to let the external circumstances dictate your inner peace or your future. One of the key aspects of refusing to be shaken is the ability to maintain clarity in the midst of chaos. When life becomes overwhelming, it is easy to lose sight of what matters most. Emotions run high, and the noise of the world can drown out our inner voice. In these moments, it becomes essential to remain grounded, to keep your eyes on the bigger picture and not be consumed by the immediate chaos. Refusing to be shaken means choosing to remain focused on your goals, your purpose, and your values, no matter how loud or distracting the storm may become. It is the ability to rise above the noise and remember that although the storm may seem all-consuming in the moment, it is not the defining factor of your life. Staying grounded in moments of adversity also requires a deep sense of self-awareness. To refuse to be shaken, you must know who you are and what you stand for. When you are clear about your identity, your values, and your purpose, the storms of life become less threatening. They may still cause discomfort, but they no longer have the power to define you or shake your sense of self. Knowing who you are and being rooted in your beliefs gives you the strength to endure. Knowing that no matter what happens around you, you have a foundation that cannot be shaken. Refusing to be shaken also means refusing to let fear control your actions. Fear is one of the most powerful emotions that can paralyze us during times of difficulty. It can make us doubt our abilities, question our decisions, and even prevent us from taking action. But when we refuse to be shaken, we choose to face fear head on and not allow it to determine the course of our lives. Fear may arise in the face of uncertainty, but it does not have to dictate our response. Refusing to be shaken means recognizing fear for what it is, an emotion, and choosing to take action in spite of it. It is not about eliminating fear. It is about choosing not to let it control you. One of the most powerful ways to refuse to be shaken is to maintain a sense of gratitude, even in the midst of hardship. When facing difficult circumstances, it can be easy to focus on what we've lost or what isn't going well. We can get caught up in the negative aspects of the situation and allow them to overshadow the positive. But choosing to stay grateful, even in the midst of adversity, can be a powerful anchor that keeps us grounded. Gratitude shifts our perspective, reminding us of the things we still have and the lessons we can learn from our challenges. It doesn't take away the pain or difficulty, but it helps us to see beyond it, to recognize the strength and growth that can emerge from hardship. Refusing to be shaken also involves resilience, the ability to bounce back after being knocked down. Life's storms may cause us to stumble, but resilience gives us the strength to rise again. Resilience is not about avoiding hardship or pretending that we are immune to pain. It is about the courage to get back up when life knocks us down, to keep going even when it feels like the odds are against us. Resilience is the unwavering belief that no matter how difficult the situation, we are capable of overcoming it. It is the power to remain unbroken, to keep moving forward in the face of adversity. It is also essential to recognize that refusing to be shaken does not mean that we do not need help. The storms of life can be overwhelming, and sometimes we cannot navigate them alone. Refusing to be shaken does not mean doing everything by yourself or pretending that you don't need support. On the contrary, it means knowing when to lean on others, when to ask for help, and when to allow others to be a source of strength for you. We are not meant to face life's challenges in isolation. Refusing to be shaken involves building a support system that can help you stay grounded during times of struggle, knowing that strength can often be found in community. In addition to these internal qualities, refusing to be shaken requires an unwavering commitment to your vision. When the storm rages, it can be tempting to abandon your goals or give up on your dreams. The pressure can feel too great, and the uncertainty can make it seem like it's not worth the effort. But when you refuse to be shaken, you remind yourself of why you started in the first place. You hold on to your vision with both hands, knowing that the difficulties you face are only temporary and that your goals are still within reach. Refusing to be shaken is the commitment to your vision even when the journey gets tough. It is the understanding that while the storm may alter your course, it does not have to stop you from moving forward. In the end, refusing to be shaken is not about avoiding the storms of life. It is about learning how to navigate through them with strength, clarity, and purpose. It is about standing firm in your beliefs, your values, and your identity, and choosing to rise above the difficulties that come your way. When you refuse to be shaken, you show the world that no matter what happens, you will not be moved. You will remain grounded, focused, and determined, and you will continue to move forward no matter how fierce the storm may be. In every journey we take, there comes a time when we are faced with adversity. It may arrive suddenly like an unexpected storm, or it may build up over time, a constant pressure that wears us down. These challenges, while difficult, are a natural part of life. They are often the moments when we are tested, when our strength, resilience, and character are pushed to their limits. But it is precisely in these moments that we have the opportunity to grow, to develop a deeper understanding of who we are, and to transform our challenges into stepping stones toward our greater purpose. The key is not avoiding adversity, but learning how to thrive in it. Thriving in adversity is not about denying the difficulty of the situation or pretending that everything is fine. It's about acknowledging the struggle and choosing to rise above it. Life is not always going to be easy. There will be times when we feel overwhelmed, discouraged, or uncertain. These are the moments when we can either succumb to the pressure or rise with it, using the experience to build our strength and resolve. Thriving in adversity requires a mindset shift, a commitment to seeing the challenge as an opportunity for growth, rather than as a roadblock that prevents us from moving forward. One of the first steps in thriving in adversity is embracing the discomfort. In times of hardship, our instinct might be to avoid the pain, to push it away, or to wish it would simply go away. However, this avoidance only prolongs the suffering. Instead, thriving in adversity means leaning into the discomfort, acknowledging the pain, and allowing ourselves to fully experience it. This does not mean we revel in the hardship or let it consume us, but it does mean we stop running from it. We accept that pain is a part of life, and by accepting it, we allow ourselves to process it and move forward. The discomfort we feel is often a catalyst for change and growth. Without it, we would never be forced to reassess our situation, reevaluate our priorities, or take the necessary steps to evolve. Another crucial element in thriving during adversity is resilience. Resilience is not simply the ability to bounce back after a setback. It is the ability to adapt, to stay focused, and to remain steadfast in the face of challenges. Resilient individuals don't just recover from difficulties, they learn from them and become stronger as a result. They understand that setbacks are not permanent, but are simply a part of the larger journey. Resilience allows us to remain rooted in our purpose, even when everything else seems uncertain. When we cultivate resilience, we develop the mental and emotional strength to persevere, no matter the obstacles in our way. Perspective is also a powerful tool when it comes to thriving in adversity. It is easy to become consumed by our problems, to focus only on the difficulties we face. But the key to thriving in challenging times is the ability to shift our perspective. Rather than seeing the situation as something that is happening to us, we can choose to view it as something that is happening for us. Adversity can be a teacher. It forces us to confront our weaknesses, to challenge our assumptions, and to expand our understanding of the world. It can help us develop empathy, strength, and wisdom. By choosing to see adversity as a learning experience, we can turn even the most difficult circumstances into opportunities for growth. Thriving in adversity also requires patience. In the midst of challenges, it's easy to become frustrated with the pace of progress or to feel like we're not getting anywhere. But growth takes time, and true transformation does not happen overnight. Patience is the ability to trust the process, to continue moving forward even when the results aren't immediately visible. It's about having faith in the journey and understanding that every step, no matter how small, brings us closer to where we want to be. Patience allows us to endure the hardships without losing sight of our ultimate goal. It reminds us that challenges are temporary and that with time, we will emerge stronger and more equipped to handle whatever comes next. One of the most important aspects of thriving in adversity is the ability to maintain hope. Hope is the belief that no matter how difficult things may seem, there's always a way forward. It is the light that guides us through the darkest times, the belief that things can and will get better. Hope is not a passive wish, but an active choice to believe in a better future. When we hold on to hope, we are reminded that adversity is not the end of our story. It is simply a chapter in a much larger narrative. Hope keeps us moving forward, even when the road ahead is uncertain, and it gives us the strength to continue even when we can't see the outcome. Support is another vital component of thriving in adversity. No one is meant to face life's challenges alone. The strength to thrive often comes from the connections we make with others. When we lean on those around us, whether they are family, friends, mentors, or a community, we are reminded that we are not isolated in our struggles. Sharing our burdens and finding strength in others' experiences can provide us with the perspective and encouragement we need to keep going. Support systems help to ease the weight of adversity, making it easier to bear and more manageable to overcome. When we choose to thrive in adversity, we also develop a deeper sense of gratitude. It may seem counterintuitive, but the challenges we face often open our eyes to the things we take for granted. When we experience hardship, we begin to appreciate the small moments, the quiet victories, and the things we once overlooked. Gratitude helps us stay grounded, reminding us of the good that still exists, even in the midst of struggle. It shifts our focus from what we have lost to what we still have, from the things that are wrong to the things that are right. Gratitude is a powerful force that not only makes the tough times more bearable, but also enables us to grow stronger in the process. Lastly, thriving in adversity requires faith. Faith is not just religious or spiritual. It is the belief in something greater than ourselves. It is the trust that no matter what happens, we are part of a larger plan, that we are never truly alone. Faith provides us with the courage to keep moving forward, even when the path seems unclear and the obstacles seem insurmountable. It reminds us that adversity is not the end, but a part of the journey, and that we are capable of overcoming it with strength, grace, and resilience.